Hi everyone, don't forget we're currently running the Easter promo where you can be in for a chance to win a £100 multi-store voucher. All you have to do is spot the Easter eggs on our SGTV YouTube channel and on social media, so keep your eyes peeled as the competition expires at the end of April. Hi everyone, welcome back to SGTV. We're still here on lockdown at home, so to keep up with the videos we're bringing out, we've got James Beck from J Beck Electrical on the show today. So James, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, Ben. I'm obviously been off work for a few weeks now, probably coming up to 3 weeks. A few bits and pieces to do. I found myself doing an awful lot at home actually, but pretty much in the same boat as the rest of the country, if not world, with the lockdown, with the pandemic, and we just do what we can. I mean, I think we're all adaptable. We have to be. So, as much as we don't like it, for the NHS, we've got to stay home.
Yeah. So how has it affected your business then? Was it a case of just grinding to a halt and having to drop tools and stop for you?
So it wasn't necessarily. It was a slow kind of finish, a slow end, because it wasn't too abrupt. I know a few people who had quite an abrupt email or text message. Literally don't come in tomorrow. But it was a slow thing, and towards while we were in February and coming into March, I was still working on empty properties that were extremely empty, like they're just completely void, empty properties. So there was no actual other people there anyway. And I was just getting things ready for the next trade to come along. And I would basically, I did the chasing and just said, listen, is there anyone else coming to site? Are you going to end kind of work getting done on the properties? And that's, they kind of said, yeah, we're not going to do anything. We're going to get to a certain stage. Like I've got two sat at first fix. The plaster's not even been there yet, and I've got a couple of board changes to do, some electrical reports to do, but as they are, they're not deemed too necessary and stuff like that. I've got other jobs coming up, but whenever anyone wants any electrical work doing, they all know that we're all kind of sat at home waiting and stuff, apart from basic emergencies, I guess.
Yeah. One thing we always talk to people about is, we're very aware that there's a trade skill shortage in this country, especially for electricians. And, a lot of people talk about there's probably not enough encouragement at a younger level to get people into the trades from wherever you're coming from, whether it's school or college or anything like that. So do you think a situation like this could potentially deter, potential sparkies from getting into the trade, getting into apprentices or apprenticeships or adult learning courses or anything like that?
Yeah, you're right, Ben. It's difficult anyway. Before Corona, it was a tricky one because, like you say, I don't know, the thought of dragging a teen up out of its bed to go and get to work and all the rest of it, they did say they've got far more better things to do with their time and stuff. But now, with the attention on, especially being self-employed, I guess, it can kind of not look as inviting, even not even the self-employed, just people in the trade in general, because the trades have shut down. It can deter people, young people, but I don't think, again, as much as they're seeing this part of the reaction to coronavirus, I also think there'll be somewhat a boom of work, because everyone is so dying and itching to get back to work that, as soon as the restrictions are lifted, we'll be back out there. So the people that are looking to come into the industry will see that as well, and see that, the wheels need to keep turning and going on and stuff. So as much as it will maybe, I wouldn't say deter, I don't think it would make anyone think twice, because it's not something specific to this trade as such. I mean, a lot of workers, NHS workers, Amazon deliveries, postmen, stuff like that, all that kind of stuff's carrying on. But the trade itself, I don't know. It's a global thing, isn't it? It's not something specific. Yeah. It's not like, I'm not going to be an electrician just in case another virus turns up or anything, or get into the industry as such. I still think it's I think it's a great industry, and I think it's a lot of certainly from social media. What I've heard, people messaging me and stuff, that they're itching to get into the industry and get some experience, which is obviously something you need when you're young.
Yeah. Do you think that is something that people will consider though going forward? Whether it's getting into an industry, or just for guys like yourself who are always preparing yourself for the future, for work and different seasons and different jobs. Do you think it's something that people are going to think, what if something like this happens again and it becomes a regular thing? What preparations would someone take for that?
Do you mean younger people coming through, or do you mean pretty much anyone?
Absolutely anyone, really. It's the whole world, isn't it? Do you think it's going to make people, especially in this industry, just think differently about how they're going to manage their work and their finances, just in case something similar happens?
Regardless of age and what you're doing in the world, what your position is or anything, as we've seen, it's happened. It touches every aspect of life, every part of humanity, you could say. So I think everyone, individually and collectively, we're all going to have a bit of a wake up, a shake up, as to say, what is life about? What's happening? Look how fragile it can be. And it's such a kind of globalized economy now, and a kind of, if you like, a smaller world. We've got travel on our doorstep, and at the blink of an eye or the flick of a switch, if you like, it can just be shut off, shut down, and we're now seeing the effects of it. I mean, people naturally, I think, are just going to look at that and maybe make plans and adapt. And I don't know if insurances are going to get involved and stuff, but there's certainly going to be some big what ifs. It happens again, and to be honest, there's more chance of it. Well, there's a high chance of something like this happening again. If it's happened now, we've gone so long. I think it's maybe 70, 100 years or something without the last one, the major one. And I think now there's a lot more of us here, and a lot more at stake. I think definitely we'll be thinking about it more in terms of not just our health, but obviously economic reasons as well.
It could potentially be I wouldn't say a good thing, because it's a bad thing that's happened, but it could potentially have a positive outcome for people, sort of trying to take care of themselves, whether that's financially or, from a health point of view. They're not going to be sort of blowing their money each month on beer or gadgets or whatever it is. They might be sort of looking after themselves a bit better. It might be one of the good things that could come out from it.
Yeah. That's. I probably would agree completely with that, and that's it is going to make people think twice. And you go out to work and earn some money, and you've worked hard for that money. You're going to look at what you're going to do with it and stuff. It's also going to make people think not just how they go about spending the money and investing it, and the kind of protection measures they take regarding anything else like this that could come along. Because obviously it's impossible to protect everything, and even countries and governments can't do that. But you can at least do the little small things. You can put some money away for a rainy day, as they say, and you can, the health reasons, you can carry on with the washing hands. I mean, that's something I think we should do naturally anyway. We just keep clean, keep washing our hands. Like I was saying to my wife, way before this came, well, for years before this came, I just naturally always had wipes and kind of sanitary stuff in the van that I would always clean myself with before getting in and out of the van. And then obviously you arrive home and you want to be reasonably, not clean, not filthy and stuff. You want to be reasonably clean. So I think it's going to kind of shake and wake people up a little bit to doing things that would now become the norm.
Yeah, I keep seeing all these memes going around social media of people saying, with all the shortage of hand gels, why weren't people washing their hands to begin with? Why is it only now that people are doing that?
That's right. Yeah.
Worrying. I know it's a joke, but people weren't doing it as much as they perhaps should be. So.
Yeah. It does raise a few questions, I guess, but it's certainly the people on the front line, the NHS workers and stuff, key workers as they're called, they need as much protection as they can get so that they can look after us. But it's like further down the line, after the lockdown, and maybe when we get back to some form of normality, I think everyone needs to just check themselves and just make sure that they're keeping clean, as they say, and washing and wiping and just that kind of stuff. Just I mean, this goes without saying. It's quite understandable now, quite natural reaction, I guess. I'm not saying wash your hands, 100 times a day, but just you've been in various places, various properties, doing various jobs. I think not just in the trade, like what we're doing and stuff, but also any walk of life and stuff. And I've never seen a video once about how filthy mice and keyboards were. The mouse and the keyboard in an office, and I was like, wow. I can see why sometimes office workers kind of when one gets it, they all get it, kind of thing. But I don't know. It is a wake up to us all, and it's unfortunately a sad event, a catastrophic event. But it is going to. There'll be a flag put up against this time, and we'll like I say, we'll know it as the before and after times, and we'll just adapt to it, and that's what we are, adaptable. Especially when you're self-employed, you have to be adaptable.
Yeah.
Well, at least when you've got jobs on that you can't get to as well.
Absolutely, yeah. So anyway, James, what we're going to do is, as we've done with a couple of other guests on the show, we've got a pretty hard quiz we're going to get you having a go at. So don't know how you're, I wouldn't even say general knowledge, I'd say sort of, crazy science knowledge.
Crazy science knowledge.
Yeah, I don't know how up to scratch you are on that.
We'll soon see.
Right then, so it's 12 questions. We'll get started. So you ready?
Okay, yeah.
Right then, question 1. In what year was Ohm's law discovered?
Oh, no. Is it in 1880s?
1827.
Oh, it was a few years off then, yeah.
Yeah.
Right century, I guess.
I think you've been the closest so far. I think everyone else is saying like the 1700s, so yeah, not too bad. Okay, next question. Why do screws have different shaped heads?
Screws, is that to do with what they're designed for, what their usage for the purpose that they're used for? Surely?
Not quite. The answer I've got is the reason for the different the reason for the different styles is cost and torque. Phillips screws are self-centering, making powered screwdrivers possible. They're somewhat more expensive to produce than slotted head. They tend to cam out easily under torque, making it hard to apply much torque. So it comes down to torque, basically.
Torque, okay.
Torque and cost.
Learn something then.
Question 3.
Yeah.
At what speed does electricity travel?
No, pass. I'm not even going to guess for that. I'll just pass that one.
Okay.
I don't know.
Electricity travels at the speed of light, more than 160,000 miles per second.
Right.
You see what I mean?
It travels at the speed of light?
Apparently. According to Google.
Okay.
What is electricity made of?
Electrons surrounding a nucleus, an atom.
Yeah, I'll give you that. The answer I've got is electricity is the flow of electrons. All matter is made up of atoms, and an atom has a centre called a nucleus. The nucleus contains positively charged particles called protons and uncharged particles called neutrons. So yeah, I'll give you that one. Okay, next question. What was Michael Faraday's most famous invention?
The rod, the cage, Faraday cage, and the rod as well.
Faraday cage, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, not familiar with
I guess he had a few inventions, didn't he? But you said the most famous one.
Yeah. Okay, next question.
I don't know if that's famous or not for me, but yeah, go. Next question.
What was Tesla's greatest invention?
Tesla, oh wow. Well, he gave the world alternate current, didn't he? Yeah, that surely is the most greatest invention that he ever came up with. The design of motors that could run on AC. Is that right?
Perfect. That's the right answer. He invented the first alternating current motor and developed AC generation and transmission technology.
Yeah.
You're doing pretty well at this. You've got
I've
three
got
so
two.
far.
Oh, three. Oh,
Three,
okay.
yeah.
I should mark these down myself. All right, three. Okay.
Okay, next question. What famous scientist introduced the concept of the electrical field?
Faraday, Michael Faraday.
Correct. Michael Faraday. We could have a winner here, you know.
Yeah.
So I'll mention while we're on the video as well to our audience. We're going to get you versus Nick Bundy versus Dave Savory on a more general knowledge pub quiz. So that could be interesting. So that's one to look out for.
Oh, great. Let's just hope there's no questions about Love Island, in which case I'll lose.
Yeah, maybe Nick would be good at them ones.
Yeah, probably. That's more his viewing.
Okay, next question. Long before any knowledge of electricity existed, people were aware of shocks from which type of animal?
Electric. Well, you had electric fish, didn't you? Electric eel, electric, like a ray, like a, what was it called? Like a stingray thing.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
One of them
fish.
things. Electric
So,
fish.
yeah. Doing pretty well.
Everyone says the electric eel with the animals, but I know there's a few others as well, isn't there? So
yeah, but it says electric fish, so I'm guessing that's quite a broad generic term.
Yeah, well, I said electric fish anyway, so that covers it, I guess.
Okay, next question. The voltage of a large something may be as high as 100 million volts and have discharge energies as great as 250 kilowatts per hour.
Wow. Lightning?
Yeah, lightning strike.
A lightning strike.
Yep. So I think if I was in a pub quiz, I'd want you on my team after seeing these.
I can't think of anything. I mean, that's massive.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not going to get that just from shorting a plug or something.
No.
Depends who's wired it, I suppose.
Yeah, it depends what kind of, yeah. But no, that's...
I bet you've come across some bad ones, though, haven't you?
I've seen some sites. I've said this in a couple of videos. I wish I had recording equipment 10, 15 years ago, because some of the stuff I've seen is... to be honest, I wouldn't probably... It's not worth recording and stuff, but it's atrocious. We've all seen bad things, to be honest. It's and they don't. The thing is, they don't seem to be going away as we seem to be getting better, and the industry itself seems to be getting a bit sharper and a bit more, like kind of upping its standards, if you like.
Yeah.
Still seeing a lot of shambles, a lot of shambolic work.
What's the worst one you've seen? Worst example?
Oh, I've seen. We went to a house, and the tenant had moved out, and I was doing a report there a couple of years ago, and the tenant had bypassed the electric meter with some coax cable, TV cable. So they kind of cut the strands, stranded it off together, and rather than, I mean, I know there's no right or wrong way of doing this, but rather than kind of have the inner core of the coax going through into the way you bypass it. I won't explain all bypassing on here, but they just kind of had frayed ends, and they just kind of jammed it in there. It looks like they did it live as well, and it was a site. It sat on fire and burnt, and it was a site. I took a few pictures of that, but I've seen. You forget some of them, just some of the things that you see, because you can become blind to it all, or kind of used to it all, as I guess. But I used to have going back years now, before I did my 17th edition, I used to have like a folder on my computer of things I'd seen. And obviously this is way before Facebook, before social media in general. I'd just keep a folder of like nightmare horror shows that I'd seen, and not for any reason other than to just kind of reference and see and look, this is what's going on. But I have seen some bad things and stuff, and ones where people are still living there. They're the worst, you know, where there's actually people living there, and you're looking at something and you're like, you have to explain something to them, like, do you know, do you realise how dangerous it is? You've got exposed live parts here and stuff, and you know, you get the usual, it's been like that for 20 years, you know, whatever.
I bet that's got to be frustrating when you're trying to talk to a customer and you say, look, this is potentially dangerous, and you know, they might call you, just, you know, it's been fine, you're just trying to make some money. It's like, no, I'm trying to save your life here.
My mate had a garage with a power feed in it. He'd moved in the property, and I hadn't been round to check anything out or anything, but he'd moved in. There was a 1.5 20-earth cable going from the house across to the garage, probably 3 meters away in distance. No catenary or anything, just literally just dragged across. And the cable had all pitted away and worn away through weathering and erosion and just the elements and stuff. Birds had been sitting and perching on it and stuff, and it was all kind of worn. And I jokingly said, obviously you've not got any power in your garage, have you? And that's an old cable. He said, no, that's live. I've got lights on and everything. My dryer's in there. I was like, what? And all the PVC is like, it's not melted and burnt away, but the elements had attacked it all, and probably the claws on the bird's feet as well. And you could literally see in the old colours, the black and red, seeping through and stuff. So, I mean, yeah, no RCD as well. So you're walking through there with a step ladder or something or whatever else. It's you just see these things. I don't know. There's some stick in your mind and some you want to forget.
I wish I could show you around my house. It sounds very similar. I've only been here just over a year, and yeah, it's pretty scary.
Well, you know, the electrics.
Yeah.
Well, you have to deal with it, Ben. Get on with it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Anyway, I think we're
no time but the present.
Yeah,
go for it. Go get on with the quiz. Where are we up to? Question number 7 or 8 or something?
10. Number 10 we're on now.
Oh, right, 10. Right, okay. Nearly finished.
So, a capacitor consists of 2 conductors separated by a non-conductive region called the what?
No. Hope. Gone.
No. Dielectric.
No. Okay.
Next question. A
next question.
A passive 2-terminal electrical component that produces electrical resistance in a circuit is called a what?
A resistor.
A resistor, that's correct.
All right.
Yeah. Right then, last
How did
question.
we do then? Oh, is that
You've got one more question.
Okay, yeah. Right, okay.
The ohm, the unit of resistance, was named in honour of whom?
George.
What's his second name?
George Ohm.
George Ohm.
Is that his name? Yeah.
That's it. Brilliant.
I remember some of the things that from. I mean, some stuff does stick in, you know, like James Watt and George Ohm and stuff like that. But and then there's some things just like you say, a couple of questions I've just passed on, and they just you can't remember everything, can you? I guess.
No, I think if I've tallied that up right, which I've done wrong in the other quizzes because I'm special, but I think that's 8 out of 12. So,
all right,
you are the winner.
Hey, let's see if I'm the winner later on. Then when we get the other 2 lads there.
Yeah. So how do you feel that went?
Went great. Went fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Easy.
Well, yeah. So a few questions I'd not actually didn't really know anything about there. So kind of learned something as well, I guess.
I wouldn't say they're really that related to the sort of work an electrician would do or know. No,
I think the fundamentals and some of the science and the physics and stuff we touched on in learning college and but I mean, and then it's on you to go even a bit further and stuff. I guess some of it is even brought in at school level, which is important because obviously you're going to learn easier or better when you're younger. But some of the main things that you're doing day to day in, day out, you'll never hear any of those questions, will you, really?
What was your route into the industry, by the way? Did you go for an apprenticeship, or did you
No,
train?
I tried. Well, I did. I tried pretty much every route in, apart from the front door, if you like. I was working for a construction company, maybe temporary, maybe kind of wasn't too bothered about what I was doing there as such. And then I just kind of, my interest was always electrics, mechanical electrics, plumbing, that kind of thing. That's my background. And I've spent 5 years doing mechanics in the late 90s and early noughties, I'd say. And I just, in the building company, there was various different trades and stuff, and I just kind of stood around looking at these different trades, and I knew electricity, or being an electrician in general, was going to be something that I'm going to have to get involved with at some point. I wasn't getting any younger, and I just, I did try a bit of the apprentice side of things, but the doors were just closed. It was no. And I couldn't really afford to live on nothing or have no money as such and just work for free and stuff. I did do a bit of working for free. I'm sure everyone telling stories and stuff like this does a bit of stuff like that, but it's I just basically took myself to college. The electrician, there's a couple of electricians that I knew. One would take me under his wing, teach me stuff. Some stuff, I guess, maybe was a bit, I wouldn't say bad, but maybe a little bit not how they do it in college, you could say. And between them and then just progressing, because there was always work, you see. So just me wanting to progress and the fact that there was always work, I just steadily and slowly climbed the ladder and gained some experience. Started off obviously gaining tools, books, knowledge, doing various other courses. And that's pretty much it. Now, it has always mainly been, I'd say, 95% domestic, residential kind of area and zone that I've worked in. With the odd time we've done a couple of shops and stuff, but as I've gone through a couple of, rather than working for solely for an electrical company, as I've kind of gone through working with an electrician, deeming himself master electrician or whatever, and then I went to another one within this same kind of company who were supplying the work. It just came naturally that I would eventually kind of pick up my own tools, pick up my own van, and kind of pick up my own work and get on with things. I'm giving you the very surmised version, very in summary version of it there, but it's that whole process took from maybe 2002, I think 2001 to where we are today. But a few hiccups in between. I'm sure everyone's had a few of them, and there's a few boosts of other job offers and stuff like that. But that's in a nutshell, basically, how I got into it. It wasn't a straightforward, easy, normal kind of track process and stuff.
I don't think it ever is, though, is it?
No. I love listening to all the stories, all the different stories, whether it be on YouTube or the podcasts, or even just in Twitter and in Instagram and stuff, and all the social media ways, because it not only reminds you of how humble people can be, but it's nice to share the experiences, and you can say, "Oh, I did that," or "I remember when at that point what happened," and stuff like that. Like I know we're in this kind of lull maybe at the moment, but I remember certain people took a decision back in 2008 in the crash, and that that kind of rocketed them up to being big kind of companies now and stuff, and then other people that affected differently. But yeah, I mean, in and around the electrical industry, stroke construction industry, I've been here for the best part of 20 years now.
Yeah.
So
before we go, James, I've watched some of your videos on YouTube, which they're good. They're a good watch. So where can our audience, if they're not already following you, where can they follow you?
So Twitter is @JBeckElectrical, same as Instagram @JBeckElectrical, and on YouTube, just type the same thing in JBeck Electrical into YouTube. You'll find all my videos. I think there's coming up to 40 videos on there now. A bit tricky to throw out content all the time now, with me not actually getting the opportunity to get on site, but that's where you can find me: Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube.
Okay, James, I want to thank you for coming on the show. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you and having you
Yeah,
on.
great. I'm glad I actually won.
Yeah,
Something.
hopefully we'll get you on the show again, and we'll
Yeah.
speak to you soon. So
Okay.
everyone out there watching, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.